Today, we're diving into The Ambition Trap by Amina AlTai to explore how ambition can be purposeful, energizing, and aligned with who you truly are. From a young age, we're encouraged to achieve more, earn more, and constantly prove ourselves. But AlTai introduces a powerful distinction. Not all ambition is healthy. She defines two types. One, painful ambition. Painful ambition is driven by fear, insecurity, and external validation. It sounds like, I have to prove myself. I'm only worthy if I achieve more. I can't slow down. This type of ambition often leads to burnout, anxiety, overworking, feeling disconnected from your true self. It may look like success on the outside, but internally, it feels exhausting. 2. Purposeful ambition. Purposeful ambition, on the other hand, is rooted in alignment and self-awareness. It asks, what truly matters to me? What kind of impact do I want to create? What feels meaningful, not just impressive? Purposeful ambition feels energizing instead of draining. It is driven by values, clarity, and intentional choice, rather than pressure or comparison. AlTai argues that many high achievers are unknowingly trapped in painful ambition, chasing goals that were never truly theirs. The first step to freedom is awareness. When you recognize whether your ambition is fear-based or purpose-driven, you can begin to shift from proving to serving, from hustling to aligning, from burnout to sustainable success. Ambition itself is not the problem. Misaligned ambition is. Painful ambition is fueled by fear and external validation. Purposeful ambition is guided by values and authentic desire. True success requires internal alignment, not just external achievement. Ambition can either trap us or transform us. The real question isn't, how ambitious are you? It's, why are you ambitious? When ambition becomes purposeful, success stops feeling heavy and starts feeling meaningful. She explains that our unfolding, the natural process of becoming who we're meant to be, is often disrupted not by lack of talent, but by unconscious patterns of thought. One of the most common disruptive mindsets is the need to constantly prove yourself. This shows up as overworking to earn validation, fear of being found out, attaching self-worth to productivity. When you're always proving, you're rarely present. Growth becomes performance instead of authentic expansion. Scarcity convinces us that opportunities are limited, that if we slow down, we'll fall behind. It sounds like, if I don't say yes, I'll miss out. There's not enough success to go around. Rest equals laziness. This mindset fuels hustle culture and disconnects us from trust and alignment. Perfectionism disguises itself as high standards, but often it's rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. Perfectionism can paralyze action and block creative unfolding. Comparing ourselves to others distorts our path. Instead of focusing on our unique unfolding, we chase someone else's timeline or definition of success. AlTai reminds us, your journey cannot be measured by someone else's milestones. These mindsets are not flaws. They are learned survival strategies. But when left unexamined, they keep us trapped in painful ambition. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. When we identify the mindset driving our ambition, we can consciously choose a new way of thinking, one rooted in trust, alignment, and self-compassion. Growth is often blocked by unconscious belief systems. The proving, scarcity, perfectionist, and comparison mindsets disrupt authentic unfolding. Many of these patterns are fear-based, not purpose-based. Awareness creates the power to shift. Purposeful ambition requires a mindset rooted in alignment, not fear. The biggest obstacles aren't external, they're internal. When you shift your mindset, you shift your ambition. And when your ambition aligns with who you truly are, growth feels natural, not forced. She argues that painful ambition isn't just an individual issue, it's reinforced by social structures, workplace norms, and cultural narratives that glorify overwork and constant achievement. Messages like, rest is lazy, your value equals your output, more is always better. These ideologies keep us in a cycle of striving without satisfaction. Success becomes endless accumulation rather than meaningful contribution. She also highlights how systemic forces, particularly patriarchy, shape ambition differently for different people. Women and marginalized groups may feel pressure to prove competence repeatedly, overperform to be taken seriously, suppress rest or boundaries. These pressures intensify painful ambition and disconnect people from alignment. AlTai challenges the belief that hard work alone guarantees success. While effort matters, she reminds us that access, privilege, and systemic bias play roles. Comparing yourself without context can fuel shame. Structural inequities influence opportunity. Understanding this reduces self-blame and creates space for compassion. Freedom begins with awareness. When we recognize how systems shape our ambition, we can stop internalizing unrealistic standards, set boundaries within toxic environments, redefine success outside dominant narratives, choose alignment over external approval. Ambition does not exist in isolation. It is shaped by culture, systems, and inherited ideologies. Healing our relationship with ambition requires both internal reflection and critical awareness of the external forces influencing us. Painful ambition is reinforced by cultural and systemic pressures. Hustle culture equates worth with productivity. Gender and social systems impact how ambition is experienced. The myth of meritocracy can fuel shame and overwork. Awareness empowers intentional choice and boundary setting. Sometimes the problem isn't that you're not doing enough. It's that you're trying to survive in a system that constantly demands more. When you question the systems shaping your ambition, you begin to reclaim your power, and that's where purposeful ambition truly begins. Purpose is not a title. It's a direction, AlTai explains that purpose isn't necessarily a specific job or achievement. It's a guiding force rooted in your values, strengths, and lived experiences. Purpose answers questions like, what impact feels meaningful to me? What energizes me rather than drains me? What do I care about deeply, even when no one is watching? When ambition aligns with purpose, work feels intentional instead of forced. Our bodies as emotions often signal misalignment before our minds do. Signs you may be out of alignment: chronic exhaustion, resentment toward your work, feeling disconnected from your achievements. Honoring your purpose means paying attention to these signals instead of pushing through them. Instead of asking, how can I achieve more? Ask, how can I align more? Alignment creates sustainable energy, clear boundaries, confidence rooted in authenticity. Honoring your purpose may require saying no to opportunities that look good but feel wrong, setting boundaries in work and relationships, making bold changes that reflect your truth. Purposeful ambition requires courage, but it leads to fulfillment instead of burnout. Ambition becomes healthy when it is anchored in purpose. When you honor your purpose, success feels meaningful, effort feels intentional, Growth feels expansive, not exhausting. Purpose is rooted in values and alignment, not status. Misalignment shows up through emotional and physical signals. Redefining success creates sustainable ambition. Courage is required to live in alignment. Purposeful ambition feels energizing, not draining. Ambition doesn't have to be loud or exhausting. It can be grounded, intentional, and deeply aligned. When you honor your purpose, you stop chasing and start choosing, and that changes everything. She explains that many people build careers around what they can do, not what they're uniquely wired to do. Over time, this disconnect leads to burnout, frustration, and painful ambition. True fulfillment begins when we align our ambition with our natural strengths. AlTai makes an important distinction. Skills are learned abilities. Gifts are innate tendencies. The things that feel natural, energizing, and almost effortless. Your gifts often show up as what people consistently thank you for, what feels intuitive to you, what energizes you even when you're tired. When ambition is built around gifts, work feels aligned rather than forced. Painful ambition pushes us to excel at everything. Purposeful ambition asks us to focus on what we're uniquely meant to contribute. Letting go of roles or expectations that don't align with your gifts creates space for deeper mastery and confidence. True gifts are not just about personal success. They're about contribution, when you use your natural strengths to serve others. Work feels meaningful, confidence becomes grounded, impact becomes sustainable. Purposeful ambition grows from contribution, not comparison. You don't need to become someone else to succeed. You need to become more fully yourself. When you identify and honor your true gifts, ambition stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like expression. Gifts are innate strengths that energize and align you. Building ambition around skills alone can lead to burnout. Reflection reveals recurring patterns of strength. Focused contribution creates meaningful success. Authentic ambition is rooted in who you already are. Success isn't about fixing yourself, it's about knowing yourself. When you align ambition with your true gifts, you stop striving to prove and start showing up with power and purpose. And that's where real confidence begins. Many high achievers ignore their basic emotional, physical, and psychological needs in pursuit of goals. This leads to painful ambition, a cycle of overwork, exhaustion, and dissatisfaction. AlTai emphasizes that purposeful ambition requires self-care and alignment. Before pursuing any goal, it's critical to understand your fundamental needs: rest and recovery, emotional support and connection, mental clarity and focus, autonomy, and control over choices. When these needs are met, ambition becomes sustainable and energizing. Signs of unmet needs often appear as chronic fatigue or burnout, anxiety or stress, feeling disconnected from your work or life, irritability or frustration. Painful ambition pushes you to keep going despite these signals. Purposeful ambition listens to them. Meeting your needs doesn't mean slowing down. It means aligning your ambition with your well-being. Schedule time for rest and reflection. Set boundaries in work and relationships. Prioritize tasks that energize rather than drain. Build rituals that support focus, creativity, and energy. When ambition honors needs, it becomes sustainable and fulfilling. AlTai highlights that unmet needs force a survival mode mindset, where ambition is reactive and stressful. When needs are met, ambition becomes active, intentional, and joyful. Purposeful ambition cannot exist in a vacuum. Your goals, drive, and ambition must serve you as much as you serve them. Meeting your own needs is not selfish. It's essential for long-term success and fulfillment. Identify your core emotional, physical, and psychological needs. Unmet needs often show up as burnout, stress, or disengagement. Align ambition with well-being, not just external achievement. Rest, reflection, and boundaries are tools for sustainable success. Purposeful ambition grows when your needs are honored. Ambition isn't about pushing harder, it's about showing up for yourself. When you meet your own needs, your drive becomes clear, focused, and energizing. Purposeful ambition isn't exhausting, it's empowering. Contentment is not a luxury. It is essential for purposeful ambition. Many ambitious people chase achievements, thinking happiness will follow. AlTai argues that satisfaction and fulfillment must be integrated into your journey, or ambition becomes a trap. Painful ambition often convinces us, I'll be happy when I reach the next milestone. I need more success to feel satisfied. Resting is a distraction from achievement. This mindset delays joy and keeps life in a perpetual state of stress. Purposeful ambition includes choosing contentment intentionally, appreciating progress rather than only outcomes, celebrating small wins, recognizing effort, not just results. Contentment fuels energy, motivation, and resilience. AlTai emphasizes that sustainable ambition balances drive with moments of rest, reflection, and fulfillment. When your ambition aligns with personal values, you feel energized instead of depleted. Enjoying the process, not just the result, prevents burnout. Small acts of contentment reinforce clarity and purpose. True success is not only measurable by achievements, status, or recognition. It's about living with alignment, joy, and purpose. Prioritizing contentment ensures ambition enhances life rather than consumes it. Contentment is a vital companion to ambition. Without it, ambition risks becoming stressful, exhausting, and meaningless. When you prioritize contentment, ambition becomes energizing, aligned, and sustainable. Deferring happiness is a hallmark of painful ambition. Contentment is a conscious choice, not a reward after success. Celebrate progress and small wins along the journey. Align drive with fulfillment to avoid burnout. Sustainable ambition balances achievement with satisfaction. Ambition without joy is a trap. When you integrate contentment into your pursuit, every step of your journey feels meaningful. Purposeful ambition isn't about relentless striving. It's about progress with presence. Knowing your purpose, gifts, and needs is essential, but real transformation comes from taking aligned action. Aligned action is not just activity or busyness. It's intentional steps that reflect your values, strengths, and goals. Many ambitious people are trapped in constant motion, doing, achieving, and hustling, but without alignment. Signs of misaligned action: tasks that drain energy, success that feels hollow, progress without satisfaction. AlTai emphasizes that action alone is not enough. It must be guided by purpose. Aligned action is often subtle, not dramatic. Choosing projects that leverage your gifts, saying no to opportunities that conflict with values, prioritizing actions that bring energy, clarity, and growth. Small, consistent steps compound into meaningful progress. Aligned action often requires courage, resisting external pressure, choosing quality over quantity, trusting your intuition instead of following everyone else's path. Purposeful ambition demands both clarity and bravery. When actions match your purpose and values, motivation comes naturally. Progress feels energizing. Confidence grows steadily. Aligned action turns ambition from stressful obligation into empowering progress. Purpose without action is potential unfulfilled. Action without alignment is wasted energy. Aligned action bridges insight and impact. Purposeful ambition requires intentional, value-driven action. Misaligned busyness leads to stress, not growth. Small, consistent, aligned steps create momentum. Courage is necessary to act according to your truth. Alignment transforms ambition into energy and fulfillment. Insight alone won't change your life. When you take action in alignment with your purpose and gifts, ambition becomes sustainable, energizing, and meaningful. Small, brave, intentional steps are what turn potential into real impact. Remember, ambition doesn't have to be stressful or exhausting. When aligned with your values, purpose, and true gifts, it becomes energizing, fulfilling, and empowering. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe now so you never miss insights that help you turn ambition into meaningful progress and thrive in your journey. Keep reflecting, take aligned action, and let your ambition work for you, not against you.